Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm kind of be going over my favorite little fall baits here, and also just a couple areas with those baits you could try and find a bass. First one, for where I live around the Ozarks, a staple for me a lot of times in the fall time, and what has been a staple for a long time. Just a little football jig, just like that. This one right here has been pretty beat, but I'm using it quite a bit. But this is a 3/4 ounce football jig right here. 3/4 ounce football jig. One of my favorite trailers on that is the Netvait Hextex Rascal. I also bite it down to my desired length, and kind of depending on how long my skirt is. So if I was throwing more of a peewee jig, I'd, cut a little bit of it off. 14-pound line on this thing right here. This is on the Halo HFX 7'3" medium heavy. This is a great rod, especially for out deep on those super long casts. You can really set the hook into those fish. Another little tip, on cloudy days, put a little bit of chartreuse on there. Makes it just a little bit easier to see for the fish, stands out just a little more in that little murky water. On that, I'm really going to be targeting points, maybe because right now with how hot this water still is, you could still probably target a couple brush piles, maybe not. I don't really know. I haven't fished a whole lot of piles, but just kind of same place you throw your jig in the summer, main lake points, secondary points, stuff like that. My next bait has been a staple in the Ozarks since it's been released. I couldn't tell you the exact date of when it was released because I'm, young, but that's just gonna be a whopper plopper. So right here I'm throwing it on the 7.2 Halo BB Series 7.2 heavy frog rod. It's a great rod for throwing this bait. One of the biggest things with this thing is launching it a mile. It's covering a ton of water in a day. Also something else is this little feather hook right here. It's a little tip. Just gives them, especially on days where they're short striking it maybe, or just not seem to want it all that much. I feel like they're more inclined to, bite it and then get in the boat. I think I have this one on like 30 to 40 pound braid, I don't know. But normally just straight braid on this, as that's gonna be kind of your best bet. Throwing this on the Daiwa Tatula. But 7.2 heavy frog rod. This is also a great, jig rod. Maybe a little flipping rod if you had to, skipping rod, swim jig maybe, big spinnerbait maybe. But this, your bluff ends, your little main lake pockets, kind of, backs of creeks and all that, as the shad move back and all that. This thing should start working once that water gets in the 60s. It should start working quite a bit better, as it hasn't really hit yet, but it should hopefully at some point. Oh. My next one, another Ozark staple. What can I say? That's gonna be a little wigglewort rock crawler, or whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to throw, really. This bait has been catching bass on like Table Rock Lake and everywhere since like, I don't know, like the 70s or 80s, probably, like when the first original wigglewort came out. This has been whacking bass, and it still catches them year in, year out. It can be kind of a seasonal bait at times, but whenever they bite it, they bite it. This is on a 7-foot medium cranking Halo HFX, moderate fast. That's something really nice about this, is that moderate fast action on that rod. That's really great for your treble hook baits. It's gonna have as much of a backbone. Then I think I have 8 or 10 pound fluorocarbon on this. I just can't completely remember. And then a Spro rock crawler on here. You know, for this setup, you kind of want a little bit of wind, but if you have just, you know, like a breeze or something, it's not too bad. You know, wind blown points, wind blown main lake points, wind blown secondary points, stuff like that. Stuff for these fish will stage as that water cools down. They're gonna start eating on crawdads a little bit, feed up for the winter time, which is also why they eat that jig pretty well. My next bait, hold up. My next bait back here is going to be a glide bait. You know, winter's coming. The bass want to feed up, eat on them big old gizzard shad. That'll give them a pretty big meal. To start eating for the, you know, preparing for the winter months. This is on a Halo HFX 7'6" heavy. This is also my flipping stick. It's a great little rod, especially for these little smaller glide baits like this one right here, this Chad Shad. And then there's also this Clutch Eco. That's one of my favorites. I've caught a couple fish on these. On that one, I have it on 20-pound line, sometimes 25. It kind of just depends what I got laying around, honestly. I use 25 a lot for my bigger glides, you know, like the Clutch Boss, Clutch Baby Boss, stuff like that. The Halo HFX 7'6" heavy. Halo also makes a glide bait rod. It's like a 7/8 medium heavy. It's great for casting these little dudes around. You know, anything from up to like 8 inches or so. Like it's up to like 4 ounces or something like that, I'm pretty sure. So it's a great little glide bait rod. Also a great flipping stick. On this one, you also kind of want wind. If you can get kind of a nasty day, that helps that glide bite a lot. I don't really know why. It's just kind of, I think it distorts it a little bit. Kind of like throwing a crankbait and all that. It just distorts it. Bluffins, kind of honestly like same place that you throw the plopper. That's kind of what it seems like for some reason. But my last and final bait is gonna be, a Damiki rig. On this rod, I just have a little, this is a 3/16, I think. But I've been using an 1/8 quite a bit for like fishing like trees and stuff, as they seem to bite it a lot better. For some reason, I don't completely know why. But I've used this summer and like last winter, I've used stuff from an 1/8 ounce all the way up to a 3/4 ounce. And I kind of want to start getting into an ounce maybe this winter, depending on if I start seeing some deep ones. It all just depends on the depth of the fish, how the fish are acting. Some days they want it moved quickly, which is, you know, kind of what that 3/4 you have to do with it. Some days they want it it's a little finessey, like that little 3/16 ounce head right there. So my favorite minnows to use on this would be the NetBait Super Twitch. Sometimes it just kind of depends on the day and the mood that the fish seem to be in. Sometimes they want a little bright one like this, and then sometimes they'll want, you know, like a real natural color like that. This one's on a 1/4 ounce. I was using this some. But I'm throwing this on a Halo HFX 7-foot medium light. This is probably my favorite Damiki rod, especially for the, you know, those light heads. My 1/8 to 3/8, 1/4 3/8, stuff like that. It's my favorite rod and all that for that as well. And also that 7'4" medium light from Halo. That's so you can really launch that thing out there. Some of the funnest fish I've had on this thing right here, I've been up pretty recently. They're normally smallmouth, but like they'll be suspended like in like 3 feet of water, 4 feet of water, and they might be over like 70, 80 foot of water. but they're like just sitting super high. And like, I literally had one the other day where like it literally rolled on it, like a topwater pretty much. Like it's so cool seeing them eat it on live scope. You can catch some big ones. Halo HFX 7-foot medium light. This is a Daiwa Tattoo, the spinning reel. See how the handle got bent somehow, so still really good, but you know, feels a little weird at times. This is the Sunline All Might Sinking Braid. I'm pretty sure is what it's called. This is like 13 pound or something like that. 13, like 12 to like 11 to, I don't know, 15 is what I normally go with. As they make like some 7-pound stuff, but that stuff gets pretty scary. And then on my leader, it kind of depends on the day and how the fish seem to be. Some days they like the minnow, some days they don't want to eat it as much. So my go-to is like 8-pound test, but sometimes I use 6, which can be kind of scary, but you know, it's not too bad. Throwing this thing, bluff ends, channel swings, points, maybe. Fish haven't quite moved into your creek channels yet, chasing bait like they do in the winter time, but there's still a lot of fish to be caught on a dang Damiki rig. You just kind of have to put in a little more work to find them. They're not as obvious, but I mean, if you want to learn how to throw a minnow, catch a couple bass, I've been catching some pretty good little spotted bass on this right here. Good way to catch, you know, if you need a 5th fish or something like that, good way to catch one. Some days they just chomp that thing. But I mean, that's it. Also, the redfin sunglasses are huge in the winter time. Oh, and you know, fall, especially when I'm live scoping, I really like them. It's just comfortable. But I like how they're light on my face, so they don't weigh me down, if that makes sense. Like, they don't weigh my ears down. You know, I use the Sanibels. Those are what I've been using. I really like them a lot. And one final little bait here. That's just gonna be your net bait BF Toad. Same places you throw your plopper, you know, your crankbait. Maybe not your crankbait, but same place you throw like a topwater or something, backcrete, stuff like that, points. But you can really use this thing on a, you know, slick day, no wind, as that's still gonna get them to bite. Just because it doesn't make as much noise as the plopper does. But huge thanks to everybody out there at Halo. I've enjoyed using the Halo rods a ton. And also my net bait little rascals. Those things are some bad little dudes. I enjoyed it. But thank you guys for watching. And, you know, come watch another video. Peace.